It's time for the Lowell Green Show, originating live on BlastTheRadio.com. Ask your smart speaker to play Blast the Radio. Live video available on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Email Lowell at BlastTheRadio.com. The number to call or text is 613-413-2217. And now, telling it like it is, here's Lowell Green.
Thank I'm in a little bit of mourning here. Ook and Glook are persona non grata.
Ook
if you don't speak Greek or whatever the hell that is, Ook and Glook are banned. They have joined Pepe Le Pew and who else? I can't keep track of it all. Ook and Glook are part of the very famous Captain Underpants series.
Oh, yes.
And Ook and Glook apparently, well, not apparently, they are two time-traveling cavemen, okay? But they make the huge mistake, at least according to all of the precious souls around here, they made the mistake of learning Kung Fu. And apparently, if you learn Kung Fu as traveling cavemen, time-traveling cavemen, you are expressing what is described as passive racism. Whatever the hell passive racism is, I have no idea, but it's not allowed. So as a consequence, sob, Ook and Glook, the two time-traveling cavemen, are curtains. That's it. Wipo, blotto. No more Ook and Glook. We're all in mourning. You have something almost as spectacular and freaking ridiculous there, John.
Yeah, so thank you, Lucas, for emailing the show, Lowell at blasttheradio.com.
Listen, well, hold it before. John, folks, you got to listen to this, okay? Now, I want to tell you that I've known John Melky for some time now. Sometimes he makes things up, but he is not making this up, okay? What he is going, there's
at the
bell.
door.
Bell has just rung the bell. We have a disaster here, which I'll go into later.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want to get back to that, John. What John is about to read, word for word, is exactly what a member of Ottawa City Council wrote. So, John, over to you with the most nonsense I have heard in the last, 10 minutes.
In the last 10 minutes. Lucas, thanks, by the way, for forwarding this on. So, this is from Ottawa Councillor Jeff Leeper, who's apologizing for using this term in his latest newsletter. It reads as follows. Good morning, Kitchissippi. In last week's newsletter, I used the phrase, hold down the fort.
Oh, my God. What did he say?
Hold down the fort.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
for many, God. He says, the phrase has associations with the genocide of indigenous persons through North American settler history and is hurtful. I apologize for that and thank the resident who raised it with me.
Say it's not so. Tell me you're making this up, John. Okay.
I want to get my hands on the newsletter, but I got to take Lucas, who emailed this, at his word.
So this is a member of Ottawa City Council that we pay this guy well to represent us. And he is apologizing for using the phrase, hold down the fort.
We pay him, I believe, to hold down the fort, yes.
This has become so nonsensical. Some of it is just almost impossible to believe. You tell me that you grew up with Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew apparently was one of your great heroes.
Oh,
am I
yes.
right on this, John?
Well, he was, especially because I was in the French immersion program and spent a lot of my summers in places like Chicoutimi. So I learned all of my moves,
Wait a minute, hold it. What has Pepe Le Pew got to do with Chicoutimi?
Well, he's a French-speaking skunk, very romantic. So when I go to Chicoutimi, where there are 5 girls for every 1 boy, I get to talk like Pepe Le Pew and romance the ladies.
You know what? You might as well laugh as cry. Now we can't say hold down the fort. Maybe we should do a little program here. What words, what phrases, what comic strips, or what should be banned? Maybe what we should say, who should be banned? This is unbelievable.
I don't think we could do that show because we would have to post it on Facebook, and Facebook would see that, and we'd end up in Facebook jail.
Oh, poor old Ook and Glook. I mean, this is terrible.
But Captain Underpants is still okay, as far as we know. It's still okay to run around in your underwear.
Well, Captain Underpants, I guess some of the other books are still okay, although I'm sure they'll catch something in these very soon. I mean, very soon. There'll be nothing left, okay?
No,
the next one is my kids, and apparently even today, really love, there's a little book out there about, I think it's 6 monkeys sitting on a bed. One jumped off and broke his head or something.
Oh, that's familiar, yeah.
Oh, this is not going to go over well. I mean, this is an inducement to violence. Not only that, but it's prejudice against monkeys. You know, a monkey jumping off. First of all, what's the monkey doing on the bed and jumping off? I mean, this very clearly this has got to go. And if there's any other nominations out there to join Ook and Glook and Pepe Le Pew and who else has been banned? Bring me up to date now.
All right, I'm posting that on your Facebook right now. What else should be banned?
What else should be banned? Yes, or who else? Cartoon strips, etc. You know, there are a few cartoon strips that used to be around that probably just as well banned, but at any rate. But when they go after Ook and Glook, I mean, this is going too far. Hold down the fort.
Yep.
Is somehow, what is that? Read that again. This Jeff Leeper.
Hold down.
Go ahead, read that again.
Jeff Leeper. So he's the counselor for Kitchissippi Ward.
That explains it from Kitchissippi. I mean, there's nobody sane in Kitchissippi. They're all nuts in Kitchissippi. Go ahead. I mean, who would live in a ward called Kitchissippi? What kind of
Lowell's words, not mine. That's all right. Here, and this is a quote. Good morning, Kitchissippi. In last week's newsletter, I used the phrase "hold down the fort." For many, the phrase has associations with the genocide of indigenous persons through North American settler history and is hurtful. I apologize for that and thank the resident who raised it with me.
First of all, we didn't have a genocidal policy in Canada. There was certainly some genocidal policy in the United States, but in many cases, and I've pointed this out countless times, thousands and thousands of natives, Aboriginals, fled north for the protection of Queen Victoria in Canada, and we protected them here. To have to apologize for that, I mean, that is, you know what? We can laugh all we want, but for someone who is a city councilor representing thousands of people, to apologize for that's shameful. To apologize in that nature is, in my opinion, shameful. Leeper, it doesn't surprise me that it's Jeff Leeper doing this. I mean, the left, you know what? The left has always been just like slightly bent, but now the left has become completely warped. They're warped. The Liberals, the NDP, the Green Party, they're warped. Totally, absolutely warped. By the way, talking about warped, I have to tell you a little story. My dad had a farm in Sainte-Thérèse de Blainville. It was a Côte Saint-François, Sainte-Thérèse de Blainville, Bois de Filion, okay? And there was a number of French-Canadian family. In fact, it was all French-Canadian around it. Great people. And we had a Monsieur Desjardins, and he did a lot of work at our farm. He was a very good carpenter. So one day, we catch him, my dad catches him, nailing very green wood. He's making a chicken house, but he's using really green wood. And my dad said to him, Mr. Desjardins, I mean, you're nailing green wood. That's going to warp. It's not. That's pas de problème. I put lots of nails, and when I nail, we put lots of nails, so when she's warped straight. So, honest to God.
Sounds like my carpentry skills right there.
She's warped straight. And it did. He put enough nails in when she warped straight. But I'm going to tell you, these lefties now, they're not warping straight. They're just absolutely warped. Oh, poor Ook and Glook. Anything you want to discuss today, folks? The lines are wide open. Who do you think should be banned? Why should it be banned? What comic strips? What cartoon character? Who's going to be next? The 6 little monkeys sitting on a bed? They've got to go too. Donald Duck. I mean, I just want to point out, Donald Duck is walking around without pants. It seems to me this is some kind of overt sexuality. This has got to stop. Donald Duck. And I'm sure that you've got many other nominations as well.
Oh, yeah.
And Luke.
Winnie the Pooh
Winnie
the Pooh has been mentioned as well because he also has no pants.
Winnie the Pooh has no pants?
Yep.
Okay. Have we taken the gun out of who's the guy that always has the gun? He's always looking for wascally wabbits.
Oh, Elmer Fudd.
Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd's got to go too. I mean, he's poking fun at people with a lisp, right?
Well, what about the coyote and the roadrunner? I mean, that coyote is dropping rocks on roadrunners.
Violence, inducement to violence, no question about it. They've all got to go.
Shampoo has just been nominated. Shampoo is insulting to bald people, says Jane.
Yeah, they're thinking of banning shampoo because it insults bald people. Look, if we're going to apologize for saying hold down the fort, we're going to have to ban shampoo, okay? It's not fair to bald people. There's no question about it. Anybody, any other suggestions, let us know. Anything else that you want to talk about, folks? The lines are wide open. The email's wide open. Just explain to people how they get through here, including we will take calls and letters from warped people. Too.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear
from
some
warped people
folks
on this air before. Yeah.
I'm a little warped. The number here is 613-413-2217. Go to blasttheradio.com/Lowell Green. You can connect to the podcast, the video feed, everything there. Again, blasttheradio.com/Lowell Green. And the phone number is 613-413-2217.
John, my wife raised a very interesting question this morning. How much time does the average person spend waiting on hold on the phone?
Oh.
I must tell you that this is spending the better part of an hour trying to get herself booked for a vaccination shot, something that she was not able to do. Phone call here, website there. It's all booked solid. Which raises another question. I'm glad to see that at least here in Ottawa, people are lining up to get vaccinated, because in Toronto, apparently, they all need a kick in the ass in order to get vaccinated. I mean, the city of Ottawa, or the city of Toronto, is just a huge petri dish, a dish of infection. But nobody wants to get vaccinated. I don't know. I mean, you know what? That's because, you see, they're mostly left wing. They're mostly Liberal and NDP and Green Party voters in Toronto. And they're so stupid, they're so warped, they don't even know enough to go to get vaccinated. That's how warped people on the left are anymore. So anyway, I have to tell you something else. When we're talking about waiting on the phone. Oh, by the way, the most common these are some of the comments that I really enjoy. You're on the phone, and what's the first thing you hear? Your call is very important to us. And then, boom, on comes the music, right? And it's usually, the music is usually out of tune or something, and you're on hold for God knows how many hours, okay? Or the other one, this one, every time I phone the TD Bank, this is our bank and does a number of other things. So I phone TD, it's been the same thing for years at the TD Bank. We apologize. We are receiving higher than usual volume of phone calls today. Your wait may be longer than usual. I have no idea how long the usual wait is, because I've never been able to wait that long. I mean, you would think they'd be able to come up with something a bit more original. I love that. Your call is important to us. Yeah, the only thing is, it's not important enough to put a couple more people on the phone so that you can actually answer the freaking phone, right? Oh, no. Talking about the phone, let's go to the phone. Who have we got there? Who's lying in wait for me here? What troll?
Jace, your call is very important to us. Please continue to hold. Actually, don't hold. You're on live with Lowell Green. Jace, go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, Lowell.
You joining me in bemoaning the fact that Ook and Glook have gone now?
I'm not really familiar with Ook and Glook, but I am quite willing to mourn their demise.
Good
but
for
we
you,
need
sir.
to add two more.
Yes.
Archie and Jughead.
Archie and Jughead.
Now,
Why
Archie
is
and
this?
Jughead. Well, Archie has been actively involved with two women at the same time. He's not showing proper respect,
Okay.
obviously.
Okay.
And Jughead obviously has an eating disorder. I mean, he's always eating hamburgers. He never gets fat. Maybe he has tapeworm. I'm not sure, but we really need to look into this.
Can you believe,
No.
Jeff, can you believe a member of city council apologizing for saying hold down the fort? I mean, are these people
Well,
nuts or what?
apparently. Like, the world is going crazy. You used to listen. Used to listen to you and used to talk about the Isle of Sanity. And by golly, I'm going to start looking for it on the map because we need to go.
The Island of Sanity has probably been banned as well, sir. Thank you, Jace. God bless you. God bless.
Cheers.
Somebody bless you. Pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a rough morning. We had I'll get to a sponsor in just a moment, John.
All right.
We had I was awakened about if I'm a little kooky today, it's more than usual. I was awakened with a sudden start at about 3:00 this morning. A huge bang. I thought at first it was ice falling off the roof, but we don't have any ice left on the roof. So we found out what it was this morning. A tree fell across the Bell line coming into the house. The Bell line supplies our internet, so if we go off at any time, that's what's happening, and television, et cetera, et cetera. So it pulled, get this, the Bell line is attached to our house, okay? And so it snapped off a great big chunk of board off my house, and like that. So now the wire with the board is dangling about a foot off the ground. And Bell just showed up. Bell has been very good here. My wife got through to them right away, God bless her. And they're out there looking at it now. They're going to have to get rid of the tree and get the old Bell line up. So I just saw that if we go off the air, you know what happened. The Bell either screwed up or the wind caught the tree and blew the line right down. Shields. Folks, this Wednesday, the government rebate program ends for appliances, but it's still there. Please, if you're looking for appliances of any kind, major appliances, minor appliances, no matter what the brand, no matter what the make, no matter what the price range, in all probability, 99% sure they're going to have it in stock at Shields. They have a huge warehouse in Pakenham. The warehouse is almost as big as Pakenham. Pakenham is a fair size, okay? So what I'm saying to you is if you're in the market for an appliance or even think you may need one down the line, check it out right away. See what kind of a government rebate is available. Go to shields.ca. You'll see all of the product that's listed there. You'll see the government rebates, and please keep in mind that as of Wednesday and midnight, the government rebate program ends. And thank you, Justin. Thank you, Mr. Trudeau. The carbon tax increases 33.5 or 50% on Thursday morning. Okay, so everything goes up, but I know that you don't mind. You don't mind paying more in tax. You don't mind paying more for gas, for oil, for food, for clothing, for heat. You don't mind paying more. You love it. You're going to vote this guy back in again. God bless. All right, now I have a fairly serious question, and I would like to see if some of you can help O'Toole, the Conservatives, whip Trudeau's ass. Now, I know there's a few of you that would like to whip his ass or whomp him or whatever it is at the next election. I'm not talking physical here, okay? Not suggesting that, but whomp him at the next election. So what I am saying is if you've got, what are some of the things, maybe one of the things you would like to see on the Conservative election platform? Of all of the things that concern you, what do you think O'Toole, one of the things you think O'Toole, the Conservatives, should launch as part of the campaign to get elected, probably in June? Now, I have a number of things, but I have three things that I'd like to bounce out there, and I hope that we'll do a little thought starter for you. Number one, I know this is very innovative, but I would love to see O'Toole announce that we are going to finance a major research laboratory here in Ottawa or someplace in Canada. We will hire some of the world's top scientists to discover and utilize methods of ridding the atmosphere, at least partially, of CO2, the global warming gas. There are full-scale experiments underway that have been very, very positive at MIT and at Harvard University. At MIT, they feel we're not that far away from converting CO2 gas to a usable fuel with no emissions. And there are other ways they can also neutralize it, add a chemical to CO2. We know that we can take CO2 out of the air. We're doing it all the time. But to take it out in large amounts economically is another question. So what I'm suggesting is we should announce that we are going to turn science, top scientists of the world, loose on the CO2 problem. We're going to forget this charging people tax, which is not working. Let's find a scientific solution here. find a way to remove CO2 economically in large numbers from the atmosphere, and then either neutralize it, add a chemical, or convert it into something that is useful. If we announce that kind of a lab, let science deal with it, not tax. That to me should be the number one platform. Number two, we should announce and put a dollar figure to it, an accurate dollar figure, that we are going to make sure we are going to bring clean drinking water to every native reserve in this country, either through digging wells or piping fresh water in. That should be number two. And number three, as far as I am concerned, should be that we're going to find a way to encourage domestic production, not only of vaccines, but domestic manufacturing of many other products. In other words, we're going to start a campaign to convince people to buy Canadian and turn down Chinese. To me, those should be the three major planks. How about you? You got any ideas? Give us an idea here. And by the way, I'm going to record this and all of your ideas in this regard. What would you like O'Toole to include in the election platform? Something you think we should do that would help defeat the Liberals. And I will send it all off to O'Toole's office. Okay, I promise that I will do that. We have some emails coming in, John. Yes.
Yes, we do have some comments regarding Aaron O'Toole, and we invite your calls. Again, the number here, 613-413-2217. Lisa suggests that Aaron O'Toole get a wig because apparently sexy hair will get votes. Terry says...
No, I'm sorry. Look, okay,
I know.
That's fine. Humor is fine. But I'm serious here, okay? We need to... We're conservatives for the most part. We need to tell O'Toole some of the things you think, you're the voter, some of the things you think would help persuade more people to vote conservative. Seriously, okay? Go ahead.
All right, I'll lay off the funny.
Okay.
Laura says, universal basic income. This isn't traditionally a Liberal policy. It would give an absolute boost to our economy, bringing in far more tax dollars than CERB, etc. Tim says, why do you want to remove CO2 from the atmosphere? It's not pollution.
Yeah, that's silly, okay? The fact is that this is the reason that we are spending hundreds of billions of dollars is because they claim there's too much CO2. This is what it's all about. There's no way that we want to reduce. Of course, what I'm saying is that we can reduce CO2 scientifically rather than just simply tax people. That's all. Please put the old thinking cap on out there, folks, please, okay? Yes, John, go ahead more.
John says drop carbon tax and GST, make it lower, hydro rates lower, natural gas lower. A text here says, I believe Milky mentioned this before, O'Toole should offer lower cellular data rates. That would more than bend the ear of the younger voters. Obviously,
yes.
He would do this through legislation.
That's a good one.
Eliminate the carbon tax coming up again from Tim. Lisa adding he needs to drop
Well,
the carbon
already,
tax
before we
as well.
go further, O'Toole has already said they're going to reduce, they are going to eliminate the carbon tax. He's already announced that. What I am saying is that that's not enough. How are we going to fight CO2? My suggestion is we bring in some of the world's top scientists and develop and utilize the scientific method of reducing CO2. Go ahead, John.
Peter says removing the carbon tax, number 1. Number 2, more affordable cell phone options. Number 3, native reserve water issues. Number 4, fix the pipelines issue in Alberta. Number 5, looking into recall for politicians who fail the public.
That's very good. Yeah, there's no question. I should have included, and I only gave 3, but certainly I think one of the top 3 or 4, for me at least, is we've got to get through. We have to get through I just got the notice we have to end exactly at 2:30 because Bell is going to cut the line. Okay, so I won't be. Thank you, Deborah. Just slipped me that little note.
I can see. The guy outside holding it up right now.
we you know what O'Toole should say. Listen, in the matter of energy self-sufficiency, this country can no longer rely on foreign sources for our oil and gas. It's too dangerous. It's too expensive. We are going to proceed with pipelines to make sure that every Canadian, including those in Quebec and the Maritime provinces, have access to Canadian oil. That should be number 1 or number 2 or number 3. Absolutely. Yes, John.
A couple more comments rolling in. An email here says, Lowell, I'd like to see O'Toole promise energy east and west, get rid of birth tourism, get rid of dual citizenship, and fixing the Indigenous infrastructure. And
Okay.
a text at 613-413-2217 says simply defund the CBC.
Well, actually, he has already announced that he's going to defund sections of the CBC, which he feels compete unfairly with private enterprise. So he's already got that. But those are some good suggestions, and I will forward them on. I just want to give you listeners a chance to play a role in the upcoming federal election. So suggest a campaign plank for the Conservative campaign. And by the way, we will record. If you want to send more and more, we will read some of these tomorrow. Yes, John.
Robert says, it may not be a blockbuster of an idea, but I wish O'Toole would promise to dramatically simplify the tax code. The burden on business to collect, document, and remit taxes is costly and time-consuming, and now for individuals has become ridiculous.
That's a good point.
David on Facebook says the party needs to show unity first and foremost.
Well, yeah, but that's fine. That's fine. But what I'm looking for is give me a program, a campaign plank that would help to bring about unity. That's maybe one of the questions here. Yes, there's a unity problem, no question about it. But what's something that would, for example, if you're having second thoughts about voting O'Toole, what could he announce that would convince you to vote for him? Good, that's a good question. Yes, go ahead, John.
Nancy says, help the disabled.
In what way?
We'll wait on Nancy for that.
I'll tell you one thing. Now that I'm glad that you mentioned that, actually, Nancy, is there should be a national program establishing national standards for long-term care. This, I agree. National standards for long-term care. The health and welfare of Canadian citizens is job one for the federal government. And very clearly, long-term care is one area where it's not doing the job. Centennial Glass, talking about doing the job. Centennial Glass will do. No matter, even, a lot of people think, oh, well, I need Centennial Glass only if it's a major project. No, you have some repairs, broken glass, whatever it is. Even if you want a nice new mirror, Centennial Glass. Major jobs, small jobs, whatever it is, they take great pride. And as I think everybody knows, the prices are bound to go up, particularly with the carbon tax going up, come Thursday morning. Now's a good time. If you're thinking of a project, even if it's in the spring, give Centennial Glass a call. Check them out on the website, centennialglass.ca, and get them to give you a quote now that could save you probably a fair amount of money or a good deal of money. Centennial Glass here in Ottawa, Industrial Avenue, and in good old Renfrew. Yes, we're running short of time. John, go ahead.
Yep, quickly a text at 613-413-2217, jobs and daycare. Lisa says, bring back Made in Canada. Anthony says, make China reduce their emissions. As if Boy Wonder can't even get China to release the two Michaels. Kim says, get Canadian oil going, get rid of carbon tax, bring back Made in Canada, abolish the Liberal Party. Some ideas.
I'm for all of that.
There you go. I thought you might be.
Well, thank you all. We've got I can't see, the sun is shining here. I can't see the time. We've got a couple more minutes here. So I just want to, I have to say something. I got my vaccination last Wednesday, and my second shot is not going to be until July 14. Folks, there is growing evidence, scientific evidence, including from Canada's chief scientist, that the 4-month delay is harmful, particularly for older people and for those with immune problems, cancer patients, for example. There's a startling figure, and I've quoted this before, out of the UK. After they tried with a number of cancer patients in the UK. After 3 weeks delay, the vaccine was 95% effective after 3 weeks. But after 5 weeks, the effectiveness had dropped to only 43%. 95% at 3 weeks, 43% at 5 weeks. God knows what it would be at 4 months. Folks, they're using us as guinea pigs. I don't appreciate it. I hope you'll join me. This is wrong. This is going to cost lives. 4 months delay is far too long. It's against all the advice we have. Thank you. Thank you all. We'll be back tomorrow.
Lowell Green, live on blasttheradio.com. Show info and links at blasttheradio.com/Lowell Green. Can't join us live? Subscribe to the Lowell Green podcast. Available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and more. Or ask your smart speaker